Look, it's a pajama party. There we go. One. There we go. One. Hello.
All right, boys and girls. Now is it working? Now how much would you pay?
There you go.
Looking at the audio. All right, that looks good on the over-the-air two-way, or at least close anyhow.
Simply marvelous.
And I see the video, so that seems to be okay. And I think, let's see, what's the other thing I'm forgetting? The o2radio.net should be up, but there's no comments as far as I know.
Well, it looks good on the scope.
All right, it is working. There's the other page. Turn down the audio. Starting the stream. That's okay. All right. And the code key is still kind of working. It's keying the radio. Oh, that's working. All right, let me explain myself here, the old Tube Radio Network. Tonight was, I work for an FM radio station here in town, and tonight was our annual fundraising banquet, and what happened kind of at the last minute, the person that was supposed to be the host of the thing couldn't do it, and it was a virtual Zoom meeting, audio thing, video thing. And so I had to totally reconfigure this control room here to not only do an audio stream, but a Zoom video stream and reconnect and unconnect everything to virtually, I became way more involved. So in a sense, this control room turned into something else. So in the last 10 minutes since the other event has ended, I've sort of quickly reconnoitered the stuff here to do this over-the-air Zoom thing. So let's see, what am I missing? I think we're just missing the regular stuff, which would be the comments on the regular page. The audio may sound a little bit weird, and then I've got some strange I'll call them decorations left over from what we were doing for the other video. Since it's late and kind of out of sync, what I will do is we'll just leave it open. The radio will be up. I will be able to see your comments on the streaming video. I don't think I'll be so lucky on... Oh, the comments came up. I don't believe it. I'm seeing comments. All right, so it isn't Friday the 13th. I can actually see comments on the old Tube Radio page. I don't know for how long, so that's great. What else? I'm not going to do a roll call, but when you come by, if you've got an SWL number, say it, and I'll make sure it gets punched in, and everybody will get a check-in tonight, and I will be listening. Basically, what we'll be doing is listening for radios and the usual chat of the old Tube Radio Network. So now that I've made that super long transmission and everything seems to be working, I am standing by.
Great, OGR.
And the first one to dive in, now the J38 key isn't working. This is the replacement I did for my foot switch. I believe we have our first SWL check-in. Go ahead, sir.
195 checking in.
All right, you get to be the beta tester. One, to see if I actually have the roll call list, which I do. And two, to see if I've got the right setting. It's 11-14-2020, which I do. If I can put an X in the square manually, and let me see, what is my normal, oh, you know what, I didn't set up any of the cameras, so let's see if I have this camera. No, I'm going to set that up, so let's see, let's just forget that. And let's see if I've got that camera. This is funny. And then, what do we want to do? Oh, I want to go over here, and then we want to punch this button right here. And hey, there you are. All right, SWL 195 is checking in the video confirmation. Jim, thank you for being the beta tester.
Oh, my pleasure, Dennis. You sound good up here.
All right, and likewise, I don't know what you've done, but you have come up a good S unit way out of my noise. So I will just, I also have, this is like a banquet. I also have my dinner. I also have so I'll be eating dinner, and it'll be fun. We'll all have fun tonight. Until Daddy takes the T-Bird away. Thank you, Jim. You are checked in.
Thank you, Dennis. Right, OGR.
And that break, go ahead, please.
Hello, Dennis. 53 checking in.
Hey, Bob, you sound good. SWL 53, Mr. Belair. I probably won't sound as good as I normally do. I'll put an X in the square, and you are checked in. Thanks for being patient.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night. How about 00?
Yeah, that's how we're supposed to start things off. I've got the brass J38 key, and it looks like it's actually corroding. I need to take some, brass out and do that. So we've got 00, and I will also get you checked in as SWL 47, over.
Awesome, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. When was my birthday? It seemed like so long ago. I think it was on Thursday. Yeah, I think it was on Thursday, but that's close enough. And it was one of those. It was one of those birthdays. Let's see. Okay, I see all sorts of people. That's really great. I've got this and that, and the whole gang's here, and you can help me eat my dinner. Thank you. Who's next? Let me take some of the people that are on the video side that I believe I'm now up and streaming, which would be, I'm going to leave this keyed up here for a second because that's an easy way to do it. Chrissy, I did see Chrissy, did I not? Yes, SWL 10 and SWL 30 from Idaho tonight. Also, X4000 is in, and Paul Williams from South Carolina. Hello, Paul. Might have to get you on our list here. I'll see what we've got extra. SWL 41, Mr. Road Dog 507. Everyone's staying up late tonight. And Ground Dog Audio, SWL 57, is in as well. I'm just looking. I had everything set up to do FM broadcasting tonight. So normally what takes 2 hours, I did in about 10 minutes. So my apologies if it's wacky. From Foreland, hello, Stan, out in Dallas, Georgia. He is in listening. And SWL 21, hello. Hello, Mr. JT. Since I was doing a live thing, I did not get to see any at all of the old radio nights. So if I get a chance, I will log into the video and see what you all were doing out there and what interesting radio you had tonight. But 21, you are checked in. Also from Foreland, Keith is in, the mighty Sierra Romeo, or let's see, Sugar Radio. That's another one, right? Who else is checking in? Laying down to rest, but he will have one ear open. That's good, because I'm not in stereo. Actually, if you are listening to the internet, I think it is stereo. I think it actually, we're going to try that right now. Can I do that? Let's see. 1, 2. All right, there we go. There is one side, one channel. So somebody report to me, and there is the other channel, 1, 2, 3, 4. So somebody can report to me if it's actually is actually stereo on the feed. OTR listening for any and all check-ins anywhere.
135, 135.
There is 135, and I think, let's see, we're going to do two things. I'm going to get you in on the SWL list, and then I'm also going to bring out the tube radio list, which I managed to find, and sign in. What was that game show where they had to sign in? I think it's What's My Line. This is November 14th, 2020, and I really hate this pen that I'm using, but I may be stuck with. Oh, wait, here's another one. Let's see if that works. Okay, I'm ready to copy, sir, as radio number 1.
Oh, is it time to do that?
It is time to do that. Since we are not doing anything formally, but as people check in, we will check them into the various box and desired item that they need. So I have got you checked in as SWL 135, which you are, and radio number 1, which you are. Over.
Groovy. Okay, let me clear the cobwebs from my brain. And I have cleared the cobwebs from this radio with the help of the inimitable Harvey. This is SWL 135 on the Robin T 123, 23 channel radio.
Well, that sounds great. The Robin T123. I did not set up any of the incoming audio, so I'll have to check to see on the Orban that the feed going out to the internet is correct, but you certainly sound great in my headphoniums. I also did not check any of the video, so let's see. If I wanted to find the next radio, which would be the Robin T123, let's see if it runs up on my Rolodex here, and I still have to set up the other camera. So 123 should be the one with the ever-popular magic eye. Hey, there it is. At least that part's working. So let's get rid of me, and back to you.
Yes, let's see. There should be a picture around of this thing somewhere. This very radio, that is. There's 11 tubes, including the 6RE13 Japanese magic eye tube. The microphone is the Robin MT1. That's Mike Tango 1. And it all seems to be working and not smoking this time.
It is working and not smoking, and it really sounds good. The audio is mellow. It's got full fidelity. The picture, if I get a better shot here, actually shows the Robin MT1. There it is. And that is something that Robin owners should and could aspire to. I think not only will it work on the T1, it will work on anything, but it will work and look classy on the Robin T123, which is what you have, the 123B, which would probably be a really great addition on that with the small microphone they have. And it just sounds nice and mellow. I see the little control, a little rotary control on the back of that, of the microphonium there.
Yeah, oh yes, this is a powered microphone. It's got a lock-to-talk switch next to it. I don't know if that's in the picture or not, but there's a tiny switch where I could lock this down. Interestingly enough, it's electronic. It's not a physical one like you see on the Turners and stuff like that. You flip the switch, it's electronically closes the switch or something like that, and allows you to sit here and talk until your radio explodes.
Which it could do at any time. It is an old tube radio. The radio we're seeing, if you're looking at, let me see, the main page at oldtuberadio.net, the photo, and you're lucky enough to be tuned into the video, which I think is working, the live feed. The radio you're seeing is indeed the one we are hearing. It's one of Cliff's pictures. He takes the great pictures. If we ever do a 12-month calendar, I think we have enough of his pictures to make something nice. And he said he was only going to charge us, what, $1,000 per shot for doing that. Not only, I'm touting your abilities here. Not only does he make sure that the radio is on channel 11, and he is demonstrating the Magic Eye. If you look at the Magic Eye tube cutout on the front of the radio, that is what the operator would be seeing. Of course, it would be moving up and down, but the bottom and the top illuminations as you get toward 100% modulation would be coming together. Back to you.
Oh, yeah, as I was mentioning, the lock-to-talk feature on this microphone allowed me to do that. When I took that picture, I locked the mic on and went, while I was taking the picture. I wanted to get some semblance of the Magic Eye. I think I tried to get it to where it wasn't all the way closed, but, just to try to get some idea of what the Magic Eye tube does on this thing. This radio was manufactured in Japan for Robin, the Robin Corporation or whatever, in Bridgeport, Michigan. So I guess technically it doesn't come from Michigan, it comes from Japan. And the mic also says made in Japan on it. So I guess it's a Japanese tube radio setup here.
Well, I know the 123B is because it says it's a Panasonic chassis, but when I do the Rolodex on this, it never really fesses up to what it is. It mentions that it's 11 tubes, 2 transistors. It is in Sam's photo fax, book 35, page 95. But it doesn't give me any more than that. So yeah, it's very possible that's a Hitachi or a Panasonic chassis or something. I hope I'm not overmodulated. The scope is showing I'm pretty loud here. So it's good. I hope you are able to listen in to the audio archives or watch the video archives, and you will be really pleased with the MT1 and its performance in the Robin T123 tonight. Over.
Oh, that's definitely good to hear. Both Harvey and I spent quite a bit of time working on it. There's a bad cap and a bad resistor that he replaced, and it seems to have made all the difference. One of the things I want to mention about too, another cool feature is the you mentioned the chassis. It is a copper-clad chassis, which looks really, really cool if you get a chance to see them.
Oh, I was not aware of that. There were some other radios that had copper-clad chassis. I am, as we speak, I'm trying to adjust the S-meter camera so that I always like to put the S-meter on there. All right, it's going to be wonky, but at least I'll have it up there for video items. All right, it's there. It doesn't look great, but that way you can see what you're doing. So, I wonder how much copper you've got in that. With the price of copper, that radio just is more value now.
Comment?
Yeah, the comment. Go ahead. Over.
When people come to your house to steal your radios, they'll leave the Brownie, they'll leave the Tram, they'll leave the Demco, they'll leave the Buddy Bass, but they'll take the copper-clad Robin T123.
They do that. They dig up the copper ground rods at AM radio stations that are on the air, which is not a good thing to do. And we had lots of copper theft at the TV station up at the transmitter where they cut through the chain link fence. So you have been warned, Cliff. Over.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's terrible. I wasn't aware of that. I'm too busy looking at the happy Magic Eye tube, opening and closing, as I say, stupid things. But again, it's good that it's working again. Everything is smooth. It's running very cool too. As I was talking to some of the guys earlier about, this thing really does not get hardly warm. It's just barely warm. So I'm glad it's all working again.
As am I, and I will speak for the entire gang at the old Tube Radio Network, all the SWLs. We were all glad that it's working. It sounds great. It's made a good performance as our first radio tonight, the Robin T123. From none other than the Green Arrow. Cliff, we'll go back to you for transmission. Then we'll take a call for SWLs and radios and get them down. And then before anything blows up, I actually want to go to my comments page, which is working, and see what people said. So back to you, sir. Thank you for getting us started off here with the radios over.
Yes, and as always, here on Green Channel 11, yeah, I don't know if that shows up in the picture, but yeah, the area on the dial that has Channel 11 is nice and green. There are other areas on this dial that are red, and I can't remember what the deal was with that. You know, there's whole sections of channels that are red and sections of channels that are green, and then there's a blank circle right near the end with the mystery channel.
Don't you think that was probably a 22A, perhaps?
It could be. You know, Arby, if you're still listening, we should have put that on the frequency counter when we had it hooked up and see what the devil that channel is. And speaking of which, yeah, this thing showed up on the freaky meter as to being, I mean, just within, you know, a millimeter of being smack on. So hopefully everybody's hearing it just fine.
That blank channel is the Canadian channel.
The Canadian channel?
22A?
Oh, 22A, eh? All right, that's what I thought. I think the way they did the crystal synthesis, it would show up, maybe even 22B, which turned into channels 24 and 25 when they went to 40 channels. Okay, Cliff, thank you for stopping by. I need to take a very long transmission to explain myself here, but your radio sounds and looks marvelous over.
Oh, thanks for letting me check it in, and we'll see you next time.
Next time on the old Tube Radio Network. All right, let me see if are there any other radios that would like to check in. We'll get you on the list here.
25.
77.
All right, we've got 25 and 77. Jerry, you will be Radio 2 coming up. And Dennis, you will be Radio 3 after that. Let's see, I was going to take a long transmission and do stuff. Oh, the comments are working on the other page. And I'm afraid if I refresh them, they will go away. So what I will do is I will read the comments that I can actually see and then hit the ever-popular refresh button and see what's happening. Robert, M111, are we on tonight? Yes, you will be checked in. He says he can't raise anyone in Fresno. Interesting. We can usually hear you, Bob. He comes in really good on the sideband net. There is some weird anomaly going on with Fresno to Reedley and Reedley to Fresno. It is not a duplex communication at all. Mr. JT, SWL21 in a time warp requesting another check-in for next week. Or is it this week? Anywho, the ground rod was smoking tonight in DX land. I would watch the replay, 21. Even if the band is closed and there are no sunspots, JT manages to burn a hole in the ionosphere and get Skip to come in. So I will listen for that. He was on the Lafayette SSB 140 and the Phantom reverse preamp. Had a great night. All right, we'll watch the replay at Old Radio Night. Thank you, John. 128 saying things are working. There is SWL 31, that's Robert and Teresa, but he says he may be banned. Well, not because of us. Things are working for some reason. I don't know. It's a Facebook thing where they think it's some third-party Russian bot because it's grabbing what you do at Facebook and putting it on the comments page. So maybe they've lined up. JT saying, hey, the tube came on. The Bob and Steve show, we'll get back to you. Stan, SWL71, we got you in. He's there, Mr. Announcer. Good to see you back on the page. Albert and the gang from Squamish, BC, waving a hand. And I do see that. Let's see. We did make the video link finally. Stan said we don't have the video link, but I did manage to put that up once I actually got the video back. Hello to Jim, catching up with us. It's late, 11:35. We got started late, but thank you for listening in Connecticut. You can pick us up on the replay. Here you can't see you. I think that's probably fixed. Go, if you're trying the video link, try it again, because that should be the right link. I want to explain myself to GWD Labs, who says, I like the banner in the background. Well, that banner I had to put up because, as I mentioned before, the control room here had to be reconfigured to do a live over-the-air broadcast for the FM station and some Zoom stuff and everything like that. So I did not have time to go down and de-decorate the back. So my apologies for advertising things that aren't the old Tube Radio Network. Oh, sheesh, and I got the mic flag up here. I've got the 88.1 mic flag. We can take that off. I need to make one of these for, there it is, for the old Tube Radio Network. I am also in a different uniform tonight, but that should be okay. And we'll stop. I've got the Bob and Steve show. I want to see what they're doing. We'll get back to what's happening in Ohio as we go in and listen for radio number 2. Hello, 25.
Yeah, Dennis, it wasn't really wasn't that important to check in the radio. I just wanted to say happy birthday to you. I think it was maybe yesterday or the day before, but a sincerest happy birthday. Hope you had a special time, and man, that's really hard to say. I had to wait 20 minutes to say that, but anyway, real quickly. Talking on the the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB two-piece radio with the Manhattan mic. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
Hey, back to me. Thank you for the birthday wishes. You know, that was Thursday that seemed like so long ago. I don't even remember. I don't even remember what happened on Thursday. It's been kind of a whirlwind last couple of days, but I do know I'm another day older and deeper in debt on both of those. Two things that you don't want to be, and that's exactly what happened. So I am glad to be sitting in the air chair tonight for the Old Tube Radio Network. There is the radio. Let me put it up on the screen there. The Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. It is sounding good, and thank you for remembering the Saturday night place to be over.
No problem, Dennis. Anyway, I know this is a condensed version of the OTR, so I'll stand by. I'm sure there's other stations wanting to check in. So anyway, sincerest happy birthday to you. And hope Bozo got plenty of peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Anyway, back to you.
All right, thanks for that. And we got another radio in. Let's see, let's do that picture. This meter isn't too bad. I want to take Dennis is next, so he's stepping up into the air chair. I want to get a few more SWLs that I did not get. One would be 44, checking in on the digital side, Mr. 360. We will get you in. Also, hello to, I think I mentioned GWD Labs, also Popcorn 913. I will be ready for and I've got some popcorn in the other room, and I think they probably have some in the green room tonight. We'll see what's going on with that in just a little bit. Also, SWL 147, let's get Neil checked in since we did not do the formal roll call. He is in Fayetteville, North Carolina, but he is very familiar with California and the Central Valley as he is a 6 call. What's going on in Kakalaki tonight? Late check-in from a late checked-in host here tonight. Rainy weather and a few good hours of skip. So I did not have the radio on all day. I don't know what the conditions were, but it sounds like there was definitely some skip back in the Midwest and the East, California and Northwest in there. All right, so we did have conditions on occasion, listening for you guys. We will see what we can do on the Old Tube Radio Network. Who else? Let's go with a radio. Won't you? Hello, 77.
Well, good evening, one and all, and good to hear you in there tonight, Dennis, for the the quick wham bam, get the station up and get things going, you did a great job, and you're sounding good over here in the tower. So 77 checking in, and of course coming to you live on the good old bus there, the old Cam 88.
Boy, it sounds good. It's got lots and lots of audio. I am going to, let's see, we do this. For some reason, the Rolodex never works quite the way I hoped on the Cam 88, but the picture is actually there up on Old Tube Radio Network, so I'm not sure what happens with that. But if I press all the right buttons, we will get a picture of it like that, and it shows the two various versions, and you told me which one you had last week, and of course, that was last week. So there is a version with the modulation light, and I believe that's a range boost switch, and one without the range boost. I think yours is the range boost over.
That would be correct. Hopefully not too much audio. I can turn it down via, I don't know, one of 6 different knobs over here. Oh, this is something else. Yeah, this one's got the range boost and the blinky blinky for the modulation, which is actually modulating bright orange as I speak.
As well it should be. Put a shot of the Orban loudness meter. You are well into the area where loud radios roam. Let me get back to the other picture, and let's see, what was my comment to you? For those who are listening that may have the Cobra series of the tube radios, the Cam 88, I think there was an 89 or 98. I know you're not running the stock microphonium. What microphonium are you running with that? And maybe, what do they call it, the elevator pitch on your processing gear? So if someone wants to emulate what's sounding pretty much like an AM broadcast station, what would they expect to be able to do that? Over.
Wow, there's a mouthful. This is the RE320 boom-mounted electro voice going into a Yamaha board, mixer board. So I was converting XLR to quarter-inch balanced output into a 5-pin DIN, which goes to the W2IHY EQ Plus, which then was switched back to XLR into a tube ultra gain 100 preamp before it goes into the 4-pin plug into the microphone jack of the radio.
Can you slow down? I was trying to write that down.
Yeah, making the flow chart. Well, basically, a studio microphone or a good quality dynamic microphone, a little bit of compression and equalization on the outboard rather than letting the radio do it, although those radios were probably produced before they had the FCC told them you've got to put in limiters and all that good stuff. And typically you're going to have to monitor yourself somehow on another radio with some headphones and dial it in to make it sound the way you want to sound. And then most importantly, keep the thing at whatever modulation level that is close to 100 that the radio will work with. Some of the older radios, I know the Hallicrafters CB3A here, I ran some tone through it, and you get any more than about 95% and it distorts. So you got to find out first what the radio will do and then say, hey, let's do that. It sounds great. You've got a couple of good comments on the comment page here about how good it sounds, and GWD Labs, who knows of what you speak, says when you're running audio gear, that explains a lot. Of course, the radio that you start with has to be willing to do all that as well.
Well, I tell you what, it was, as you know, when I set it up last week with cords and wires and everywhere, quite an experiment, and it actually turned out better than I had hoped. And I got, 3, 4, 5 ferrite chokes on the different various audio cords, And all the audio gear is coming off of the same AC circuit on the house, which makes a very big difference. All the audio gear is working on one circuit that is dedicated just to the audio gear. And of course, the ground bus is every single piece of equipment is grounded to each other to keep the RF from going where it should not be going. Go ahead.
Words to live by in a high RF environment, and things I need to do around here, especially with the grounding, the shielding. If you are dealing with, we'll call them consumer grade, that's not to degrade anything, but consumer grade products for audio, that is always a good thing to do some extra RF shielding. If you have something like this, that is made for the Orban, that is made for broadcast stuff, it's built like a tank, and it has a lot of RF shielding. However, some of the stuff that's running into that doesn't. So once the RF is in your system, even the best of the stuff here isn't going to get rid of it. It's going to pass what's processed. So a good thing to know to work your audio chain as you go. Keep the levels consistent. Check for RF, and you should be happy. And plus, another thing he mentioned is ground loops, a possibility of ground loops with your AC. If you have wall warts or things plugged into the AC, if they're not from different circuits, possibility of ground loops. There are ways to solve that as well. So a lot of things to consider once you start getting into the dark side of audio. Radio number, did I even write it down? Where's my list? Yes, radio number 3, the Cobra Cam 88. Sounding great and proving that old tube radios can rock. Over.
Oh, go ahead.
Was that the radio? Maybe you're the wrong person, but was that the one that used to be in the closet that picked up AM radio station?
Yes, sir. This is the exact radio.
Are you still in the closet?
No, we are moved into a dedicated radio room just for the radios now.
Sounds a whole lot better. No more AM.
It sounds... it's night and day. It's a whole different world now.
Okay. Oh, I pinged, darn. Okay. Yeah, sounds real good. All right, I'm out.
Why, thank you, Harvey. That puts a big smile on my face hearing that from you, sir. And it's been a lot of fun. And this darned old radio. Whatever you hand it, it just passes it right on through.
All right. Cam 88s are really good radios. Good chassis. As long as they're kept up, they'll run forever. Okay, we'll back out.
Like the song says, the wheels on the bus go round and around. Round and around. Thanks for bringing it by.
And thank you. And 73 is to all the listeners, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
All right. Was there a breaking station for a check-in SWL-wise? Over.
114 checking in.
All right, SWL 114. We're no formal roll call tonight. Net control was sort of late and tied up, so as people come in, we want to get them checked in and appreciate them standing by and being patient tonight. Thank you, Wayne. You are checked in.
Happy late birthday, also.
Happy 75th birthday, Dennis. Check in 35.
That I will do. What I'm going to do, let me get 35 checked in, and thanks for the birthday wishes. Before I refresh the screen, I wanted to go over to the Ohio group, Bob and Steve show. I can actually see them on the main page and find out what's going on here tonight. I think I know. They had a good turnout for the poker tournament from the last week. The big turkey, don't say turkey around here. The big turkey was won by Tom, and he gave it to the VFW for their big prize, and that is a good thing to do here. as we go through Veterans Day, Armistice Day. We made enough to pay off the Costco card. Thank you very much. That's when you work for a community-funded public radio station, the paycheck is never very big. So we always appreciate the Costco card getting paid off. At the bar tonight, the Wisconsin grilled bratwurst served with sauerkraut on a baguette. And everyone is welcome after the net to come on down. Fresno State 35-16 over Utah. I didn't even know they were playing. So thanks for that. I went in today. I went over to the green room because I was so hungry. And look, they made me up a nice plate of salad here, and we've got some dessert going on. So net control finally gets to eat at the from the green room. So pardon me if you see me chewing on the air tonight. What else? I wanted to say. No, I want to say nothing. I want to say you talk now. Who wants to check in?
131.
131. I can do that over on page 4. That's Mr. Rude. Let me find you, John, and put the X in the square. You are looking good on the page tonight. Thanks.
Thank you.
70.
And 70, who I heard last night, super bodacious on the sideband net, and sounding equally so tonight on AM, referring to the Ditch Banks SSB net that happens here locally in the Central Valley on Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, channel 36, lower sideband, 27,365. Everybody's welcome. They do a roll call. When Jeremy can do it, he puts up an SDR radio replay under the, I think it's the YouTube of Ditch Banks SSB net, so you can not only hear your audio, but you can see it and maybe make some changes and stuff. And of course, as always, everyone is welcome when the band is open. So mark that one down on Friday nights at 8 p.m. And Mark, you are sounding good.
As are you, sir. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks for checking in on a Saturday evening. And let's see, it looks like my page did refresh, so let's say hello to Charles. Charlie, hi there. Good evening. So also, let me get everybody checked in that I didn't get checked in. We have SWL16, of course, just checking in. Oh, and let me see who's listening. Anoka's in there, of course, Somerville, Germantown, Fresno, Squamish, and Derby, New York, who was saying, if you are going to reconfigure, I threw a curveball. I threw a curveball out to 14047 today, and I said, no, we're not going to do what you think we're going to do. We're going to do this, and we need video, and we need banners, and much appreciated for the change of gears there in 19 and getting us set up for the FM radio, and then scrambling around to get us to set up for the AM radio. The Old Tube Radio Network, listening for any and all check-ins anywhere.
Are we officially keeping track of Old Tube radios being checked in this evening?
Yes, we are. We have 3 so far over.
Okay. Hey, let's make it an even 4 with a Robin T123B.
Robin's a good thing. We had the T123 to start things off. So let's move up one. I don't know if you heard that. Cliff was running the Robin T123, and he had the MT1. It's not working. There it goes. The MT1 microphone. All right, I'm trouble getting my page to come up. Here we go. And it sounded great. So that's something you might want to look for on your next eBay trip.
Yeah, I know that particular microphone has been mentioned before. An MT1. Yeah, I'll look into that for sure.
However, the microphonium which is producing your audio sounds quite nice, so maybe you don't need one.
Microphones are easy. They don't take up a lot of space. You can't have too many. It's like mouthpieces for a horn. Even though you ought to stick with one, it's easy to build up a small collection.
Yes, it is. You are getting a many thumbs up from Chrissy, the 123B, her favorite green radio, or one of the favorite green radios. I think, depending on which green radios may be checking at the moment, the favorite category could change. But right now, the favorite category for SWL10 is this Robin T123B. Oh, also, I forgot to mention Railroader, SWL34, is checking in from Batavia, Illinois. Jimmy, I don't know if you're still listening. It has been a super, super busy 2 weeks. Hopefully things are winding down. And I saw your message about the video thing, which I think I can do. I don't know. I'll see about that, but that was a good idea. And then I'll be able to spend some more time promoting and looking at the new page and getting along with that, because I just have been super, super busy. So don't lose faith in the guy sitting in the chair here. All right, back to our radio at hand. We will go back to, there are many lights. I'm not sure exactly which ones will illuminate when you key the microphonium, but you can tell us.
Okay. Well, at the moment, it's only what I think is a blue transmit little lamp that's right next to the S meter. I guess it's in between the S meter and the illuminated channel selector readout there. That's the main one that's kind of glowing. This one does have a modulation lamp. It doesn't have a magic eye tube. I kind of wish it would, but no magic eye tube on this one to indicate what kind of audio you're putting into it. It does have a modulation lamp, though, that really is not doing much of anything. I'm like, by my standards, I'm speaking uncomfortably loud into this radio, and this modulation lamp is doing almost nothing. But I guess it is kind of cool, though. No, it doesn't have a magic eye tube, but just to the left of the speaker, it has this modulation lamp I'm referring to. And if you tag the external speaker button on this radio, if you have a speaker hooked up somewhere, maybe under your front bumper or wherever, there is a pretty cool external speaker lamp that will illuminate, just to indicate that you're going to be. Wait a minute. I'm thinking about PA. Okay, so external speaker. If the small internal speaker is not working to your liking, I guess. That's the top lamp. Excuse me. Okay, so external speaker. Modulation lamp is in the middle of there, and then on the bottom is the what I was thinking about, the PA lamp. So you've got essentially two buttons on the right side of this speaker. As I said, you can the top one is the external speaker button. The bottom one, however, is the PA button. So if in that case, if you've got some sort of a speaker mounted underneath your bumper or wherever, maybe like the Blues Brothers on top of the car, you're going to tag that button, and I think this white lamp would light up, indicating that you're ready to go promote your favorite candidate.
Or your favorite cause, or maybe just chase down the ice cream truck, trying to get a little audio in over their jingle bell or whatever they do. Let's see, the two lights, the transmit light, which I don't know, it looks like it might be a dark red, the modulation light, which might be red as well. I checked your audio. I think you're good. You may not, I don't think you're 100% modulated, but it's certainly good enough audio on the carrier, and it's very good sounding audio as well. Check the Orban loudness meter. You are in the proverbial loudness ballpark. I'm sure that radio probably has a little more headroom that you could push it more if you wanted to, but doing a good job and sounding good, and it is our radio number 4 tonight. Over.
Awesome, great. Well, it's always a fun pleasure to use it, and everyone sounds great on it, so thanks for letting me check it in.
37.
And we appreciate you bringing it by for radio number 4. Radio number 5 jumping in there tonight. Hello, Christopher, SWL37 on something.
Yes, on something. And happy birthday, Dennis. What did you turn, 21 or 22 today?
Yeah, 21 and 22, and then there's some more numbers that you need to add if you've got a calculator.
Oh, another 22?
Let's see, 21 and 22, and then another 22. I think you're correct.
We've known each other too long, that's not too long. That's a good time. And Dennis, I would like to check in a radio and check in also.
All right, I have you on the SWL side, and I am looking in the Rolodex for the radio that I think you are on because it sounds so awesome. Over.
Well, I thank you very much there, sir. Anyway, Dennis, I would like to check in my general radio telephone, and it seems to be working quite right tonight. Everything's swinging the way it's supposed to. I'd like to check in my general radio, Super MC11A. This is the 24-channel version of that, and I'm running this here with the non-amplified stock microphone. Over.
As always, I mean, what can we say about that radio that we haven't said? The unamplified microphonium, very similar to the one we're seeing in the photo. If indeed you're seeing the photo, it is a teardrop-shaped ceramic-style microphone that probably weighs a couple pounds, I don't know, plugged right into the front of the radio on channel 11, and the engineering crew at General Radio Telephone and the ECLL 800 tube do the rest. Of course, provided with your mellifluous tones there.
Well, it don't weigh no couple pounds. Actually, it's not that heavy, really. It's kind of a small mic, but it does what it's supposed to. Over.
Yes, it does, and we are glad that it does that because it makes for a good radio. Now, the pen that I really thought I liked is running out of ink, but that's okay. Give us another transmission.
Well, use that pen. Just get another pen similar to it that you don't like that has the same cartridge and put that in there. Over.
Yeah, you talk of the good old days. I used to have pens like that where you buy the expensive stainless steel or whatever it was, Parker Jotter or whatever they called it, Scripto something, and you changed because the outside of the pen was so nice. You would change the inside of the pen when the ink. The new stuff now is all plastic and it's basically throwaway. It's not good. The problem is when you lose it or it breaks, you don't care. When you were I remember when I was in school and I had my fancy pen and you lost it. I don't know, what are they, a couple dollars? $5. You would be very upset. So I guess I'm not that upset that the pen is not working. It just started working again. Speaking of working, your Super MC11A has been flawless on the transmissions. Over.
Well, thank you. And you're right. When we was in school, our ink pens did cost. Well, I had some that cost me up as high as $5. And my favorite, what do? You always lose it, and never fails. Or if you turn your head and it's gone, somebody borrowed it, and you never get it back.
You are correct. But back in the good old days. Sort of like the radios. They always seem to work, and you just have to be careful. Thanks for bringing by Radio 5 tonight. Everybody, thanks for putting up with my tardiness tonight. Just a change of schedule. I was going to be late anyway, but this sort of took the cake. Speaking of cake, I have the cake. I've been to the green room tonight, and things are going well. Thanks for checking in.
Was that before dirt?
Yeah, before dirt. Knock it off, Derek.
And this is the Old Tube Radio Network. We are taking any and all check-ins, radios, SWLs, comments, and modes of operation.
Comment.
This is the comment frequency. Go ahead.
Dennis, I think he's calling those older than dirt.
I think you are correct, and I would going to try and dispute that, but I was not coming up with a good argument.
Me too. And yes, Ray, I remember I parked it on a hill. The tide went down. I haven't been able to find it since.
So you're going to have to look for it.
Well, I'm older than dirt, too, so.
All right, good evening.
Yeah, I can answer a lot of those old guy questions when they ask about where were you when this happened and where were you when that happened. So I'm on the list.
Yeah, right. Happy birthday, everybody.
Dennis?
And thank you for the happy birthday. This is the Basic Dennis, over.
Did I ask you to check in 35?
You asked me to check in 35, and let me make sure I did that. And I like I said, the comments are working, and Bill is usually like clockwork on checking in, if indeed I can see him doing that, but I don't see him on the list. So a proxy check-in of 35 will be a good thing, over.
Okay. And check me in too, I guess. And 29 and 54.
Yes, I will. This is one of those, it's like the bingo game, you know, where you get the free spot or get out of jail free. Everybody who's on the list will get an X in the square because I don't know who I missed because I was tardy, because I was not here. So everyone will be checked in. So if you're thinking about, oh, that's the perfect attendance thing for the 00, everybody will get sort of a free check-in here tonight that will help you out, or help things out.
Okay. And check in my Browning Golden Beagle R68T68 from Browning Laboratories without the custom D104, and this is the Mod B, which is printed on the back of the transmitter.
All right, I've got the R68T68 Mod B, and let me refresh my memory. The Mod B is not the same as the Browning Golden Beagle?
That's right. This is its cousin. It's also Golden Beagle, but they're semi-related, okay? This one has the on-air light on the transmitter. No, it has the, hold it. Yeah, on-air light on the transmitter and the RF gain variable control on the receiver. The other one has the spotlight on the transmitter and the 3-position RF gain switch on the receiver.
Okay, gotcha, on the Mod B. But it seems like in general, radio, telephone, and they were all like that. There's month after month, they were just tweaking and adding and subtracting, and on the radios, it really, when you notice that, it seems like it was very, very competitive market all the way up through who knows when, until 1976 or 77, when things kind of stopped being competitive and the manufacturers started dropping out. Actually long before that, but it's always interesting to see that there was a very important thing to change and update and stay ahead of the game. The R68 T68 Mod B is sounding good. Oh, question: I was hearing you really well on the crossband radio, which is not, I don't have anything hooked into the board. I had to take everything out and shut stuff off for this other item I was doing. But the crossband is up, and I'm just wondering, what were you doing for that? You were full quieting.
I was in the car in the driveway facing basically you, straight on, running 50 watts.
Oh, all right. And my antenna's sort of listing at a 45-degree angle, I noticed, because of the wind, and the mount is bad. So maybe you were diagonally polarized. Jimmy says that the Mod 2, the transition model for the Mark II for production. So you're just like inches away from having a Mark II there.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, the transmitters basically all have the same tubes, and the receivers do pretty much all the same stuff, kind of. They just look a little bit different.
And maybe they sound a bit different too.
Oh yeah, Mark II, of course, has the on-the-air light on the receiver, and trying to think what the Mark II's got. It's probably got a spotlight or something on the transmitter. Excuse me. I don't have it in this room. I had to put all the radios in storage. Otherwise, I'd be tripping all over them if I tried to put them in here. So, not boasting that I have a lot of radios. I'm just saying I don't have a lot of room. Okay. Anyway, eventually I'll try and get them in here.
We hope that you do. That's sort of my problem here. I'm stuck. I've been redesigning the radio room for 2021. I have high hopes that I'll have antennas and different radios and some more old tubes. I've got a lot of old tube radios that are not up and running and need to get displayed here, and I should have an old tube radio table and a new tube radio table and things like that. So we are planning on that. Thanks for bringing by Radio 6 the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 Mod B, I believe.
Break OTR.
The break OTR, go ahead, please.
Okay, first and foremost, I have to ask, what kind of a signal am I putting out? How can you hear me?
I think I can hear you. Take another transmission and we'll put up the S meter here and give you a report. Oops. No, I can hear you. Just my key stopped working. Go ahead and take a transmission, and I will put up the S meter so we can see what you're doing.
Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How does that sound? Hello.
You are just under an S9. I think I can hear you on other radios a little bit more than that, so no problem hearing you. You're well above the noise. The audio is probably 60% or so. It is workable. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I got a question for you. You haven't brought up the jingle singers this evening. Is there anyone over there that can do a drum roll?
It's funny you should mention that, and I could say that I gave them the evening off because of the calamity, but I think what happened is when they found out that I was sort of, and I wasn't really ditching the old Tier Radio Network to do this other function. I think they were a little bit miffed that they couldn't participate in the previous thing that was going on here, and so they sort of stormed out, and I understood. I understood fully. They are very dedicated to the old Tube Radio Network. So to answer your question, and I'm not a drummer at all, I could probably, I can bang on the Heil boom item here, and we will use that as a drum roll. So go ahead.
Right. Okay. I suppose that's gonna. Well, I'd like to check in a radio that you have never heard. I've never used it. My Gondit G11.
Wait a minute. I think I've heard that before. I'm going to write that down. Hang on one. Don't lose that G11 thought here. Radio 7 at 9:53. I have a shortwave listener that's far away, and I want to get checked in. The station that was trying to check in. Go ahead again.
Yeah, 61 check in, Dennis. I tried my pickup, but I couldn't hear anybody back.
Okay, you're sounding great now, and we had some delays here tonight. Things are a little bit different, but whatever you're doing now sounds good, and thank you for checking in. We've got you, Dean. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis. 82 checking in.
And also 82 checking in. We didn't do a formal roll call because of the delay here tonight, but Ron, I've got you checked in also. Over.
All right, no problem, and thanks for doing the net. Been out here and there listening in, and Mr. Good Swap Meet. And 37 will be standing by.
Yeah, I was gonna try and talk about the swap meet, which I had to miss this morning because I was actually in the area, but I just couldn't afford the time to stop there, because I know once you get in the door, you lose all amount of time, and 3 and 4 hours go by, and I couldn't afford to do that. So thanks for that. Let's get back to the Gonset, and you said the G11 in a way that perhaps it was something new, but I know we've checked in Gonsets before. Hello, 47.
Okay, so I got to ask you a question, and I'm sure we're all kind of in the same boat. So, have you ever found yourself like you got a project that you want to work on, and you just kind of don't get around to it, and then you kind of pause for a moment, and you think, it's been years and years since I've been needing to do something, and it kind of shocks you just how much time has elapsed. Does that ever happen to you?
That is sort of the daily occurrence on the chart here.
Okay. Well, you are correct. We've checked in a Gonzit G11 from the Radio Lounge before, and if you want to be super accurate, I've checked in my Gonzit G11, the model number 3303, which is the 110 AC version of this. So I hate to admit this, I have been keeping a very dark secret, and I'm embarrassed to say I believe it's been for 11 years. I had to go back in some emails today and did some tracking. And well, first I'd like to start with what I'm talking on. It's a Gonzit, and I've never used it before today. This is a radio I purchased at the exact same time as my other Gonzit. But this one's different. This is it's a Gonzit G11. It's model number 3304, which is a 12-volt version of this particular radio. I don't even, to make a long story short, I guess it was 11 years ago that I thought, man, I got to get one of these Magic Eye tubes that's kind of like the Pac-Man style. And saw a few on eBay. There was a gentleman that was selling 3 of them. And I got 2 of them. Maybe some other time when I'm more convinced that the radio is not going to blow up. Maybe I'll go into greater detail on that. But I got the other one. That's the one that I have been using. Of course, it's been broken for a while. I decided to finally get this one out. There's kind of a backstory behind it too. But this is the very first. This is the maiden voyage after hiding in my closet for 11 years that I'm checking this particular radio, and hopefully it's still transmitting.
You are still transmitting. I marked that it's at 3303, but as you said, it's at 3304. So where are you? You say you're being powered by 12 volts or not?
Yes. I actually have it hooked up to my Astra power supply, my 50 amp. I'm kind of laying on the floor right now. I've got everything kind of jury rigged. Just getting the thing hooked up was kind of peculiar because there's only one power wire coming out the back, one red wire. There's nothing else. So you got to, I guess there's a screw on the back of the radio, I guess a grounding screw. So since this was intended to run in a mobile configuration, I guess you ran the red wire, wherever, maybe your car battery, hopefully it wasn't a cigarette lighter, and then you just grounded the radio directly to the car chassis. Well, of course, I'm not doing that right now. I'm inside, so it's just hooked up to the negative terminal on the back of my power supply.
Yeah, and then, of course, your antenna is also grounded. That's where you have to be careful. Yep. All right. This key is not hanging. Hold on. All right, there we go. And that is where you have to be careful when you have grounding like that, that you have a fused line somewhere, that you don't have this loop to your battery, because you also have a ground connection from the antenna and the radio to the antenna if it's touching metal of the car. And I've heard horror stories about the something shorting, and now you're basically doing a direct short from the positive leave of the battery to the ground of the car. So you got to be careful with those. And I remember in my early days of ham radio with the guys talking about the Gonzit communicator radios that were the 10-meter versions, and part of them would go in the trunk and the other part would go in your AM radio, and about the horrible car fires in the trunk for things not working quite right. So I'm sure you're there to monitor all this. And I say that not to scare you, but just to, as you know, remind you that things can go wrong if they will.
I know what you're talking about, and I did so much reading on that this morning, and I actually tried to get you on 2 meters just to chat about the safety of this. I've read a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting situations where people found themselves toasting marshmallows on what used to be their car because their gauntlet caught on fire. So the positive line is fused. My grounding isn't. And I think that was a practice back then, not to, I'm sorry, the positive line is fused, but the grounding line is not fused. Is that a safe practice? Was that a safe practice? Does this ring a bell?
I don't know. I think if you've got a fuse somewhere, you should be okay if something blows. However, let's see, that's on the red line. So you still have an antenna connection that could make some connection somewhere. But again, if you're fusing the positive, I think you should be good. And I'll defer to any comments that tell us otherwise. And again, you're monitoring things, so it should be okay. I do see the designators for the 3303, 3304. I was thinking there might be another one. This is an early radio from 1959, 1960. Might even be this particular model might actually have showed up in late 1958. So I'm surprised there isn't a 6-volt version somewhere, or maybe a way. Maybe there's some wire configurations where that could run off of 6 volts, because that would have been something that would happen back at that time. And I think the E.F. Johnsons, the Whiteface, were like that. They typically had 3. There was like an AC and then 2 DC versions. So I think you're good. If you've got it set up, you should be good to go. And of course, you're monitoring everything, and it's working quite well. I might do a frequency check on it for you. The audio is not bad, and the signal is not bad as well.
Okay, good. And I know that we have some other folks there waiting in line, so I'll cut this real short. Well, I have to say first and foremost that this is probably the most spectacular looking radio I have in my collection. I know I've kind of talked about the other guns I have, and it does look good. This thing is absolutely positively immaculate. It does have the magic eye tube in it, which I think is a 6ME5. And this is the only time I didn't even know that there was supposed to be a covering on the magic eye tube in this particular radio. And I brought this up years ago. I think I named it the magic eye lid. Well, this thing has its original magic red plastic magic eyelid. It's essentially just this plastic apparatus that covers up the entire upper portion or top half of the 6ME5. You can see that same eyelid on some of the other Gambit radios, the communicators. They look, from the pictures I've seen online, they look like they're metal or something. This one's definitely red. It's definitely plastic, and it's really cool because I think 99.99999% of the pictures of the radios that I've seen, at least of the Gambit G11, that magic eyelid is broken off. So this one has it. It's pretty cool. On the front of these radios, there is kind of a little area for you to stencil in the channel number and the frequency. And this one says channel 8, again, channel 08. And yet the frequency, which again painted on the front of the radio, is 27.085. So I think at one point in time this radio may have spent some time in Canada. It's got, unlike most of the other Gambits I've seen, there are 2 holes on the top of the radio that I think were access points for you to fiddle around with the tuning pots. Every other Gambit I've seen, it just had 2 empty holes. This one actually has the 2. They look like caps that set inside those holes, or plugs, and that was something cool I'd never seen. And maybe the last thing I'll say about it tonight is it's got this really, really cool microphone. I might have seen this on a couple other Gonzas before, but it's not the lollipop style mic. It looks like a waffle. It's essentially almost a square, maybe more like a rectangular shaped flat, and the speaker grill actually looks like a waffle. So pretty cool radio, and I'm glad I finally got it on the air after 11 years.
And we are glad too, and I'm glad it actually worked after 11 years. I'm bringing up an ad. Let me put on the full screen, and this was. It says, as advertised in the January issue of QST, complete details to follow. So I think they ever advertised that in 1959. And this is a different picture. Yeah, it's 1958. So 1959, they actually advertised it in FCC. It says, well, the FCC assigns 22 channels and 27 megahertz megacycle range virtually without restriction as to legitimate usage, can be business or pleasure. Any U.S. citizen is eligible for license. No difficulty, merely complete Form 505D, packed with equipment, and submit to FCC. No tests, no special skills, no examinations. And even the radio that we were showing has the 27085 channel 8. I'm not sure if that was, they didn't know what the channel assignments were going to be since this was an early radio. Or like you said, it has something to do with also being used for Canadian items. So you just took what we call an old buzzard transmission, and it held up just fine. No crackles, no pops, no sliding off frequencies. So I think that one's going to be a keeper. Over.
Oh, good. Yeah. Thanks. It's definitely it's a cool radio, and it's probably the most original one I've got in the collection. There's a couple other things I could say about it, but again, I know some other folks are kind of waiting in the sides there. So thanks for letting me check it in. Again, I'm glad I got a chance to finally do it after 11 years. And there it is. Happy late birthday again. And on that, I think I will back out and stop hogging up so much beer. Thanks for letting me check it in. 37.
All right. Thanks for bringing it by. And it works just fine. The audio is fine. I hear you great. Not 100% modulated, but there is no problem at all. Oh, and I was going to give you a frequency check. So and hi, Chris, I hear you. We'll get to you next. Go ahead and take another transmission, Mike, and I'll run the frequency thing here.
Okay. You were right. The 3303 was a 110 AC, and this one is 3304, which is painted on the back of the radio. And I had to open the radio up just to kind of confirm that was the correct cage for this radio. It does have a 12-volt DC vibrator in the radio. And there's the last model was a 3305, which is a 6-volt version of this radio. So hopefully that gave you enough sampling there.
Yeah, it did. Let me get back on frequency here. And you do sound a little different when I actually tune in the frequency. You're at 27083.5. So you're about a kc and a half low. So any radio like the Regent Imperial that has a very narrow pass band, you're going to sound probably either high off frequency or a little sidebandy perhaps. You sound fine because I got a wide bandwidth on my audio, but I can tune down it and make it sound just a little bit different. So it is a little bit low on frequency, so make a note of that. But it certainly hasn't affected how things sound tonight. The Gonset G11, the 3304, made one of the first CB radios in production. There were a few. Gonset was one of them. Even had the gutsiness to advertise in QST saying, like, yeah, you don't need a license, you don't need to do anything. So I'm sure that probably wasn't real popular. I bet they got some letters to the editor, and that was probably the one and only advertisement that ever showed up in QST. Thanks for Radio 7. We will talk more about that. I want to, before we go on, SWL 78, Richard is checking in from Where are you tonight, Richard? You were in Wildemar, yeah, saying 73 on Hello Radio. Speaking of Hello Radio, hello, Chris, over.
And hello, Dennis. Well, Dennis, I'm going to check in this other radio here that I got hooked up here. I want to check in my Crisp 23 Plus CB transceiver. It is a 23-channel tuber that glows in the dark, and this here is the original handheld microphone. Over.
Sounding good on the, we're transmitting? Yeah. With Chris 23 Plus, all the things that tell me I'm transmitting are behind me. Putting out the big picture, the Panasonic chassis of great fame, AM plate modulation will go 115 volt AC or 12 volt DC. You don't need a separate radio, just need the separate cable that goes with it, and this is 11 tubes, no waiting.
Well, I had to wait for it to get warm.
This is the 11 tubes, not much waiting. How's that?
Give it 4 or 5 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes is a good thing. Thanks for bringing it through. We're going to mark it down as radio number 8 tonight.
Okay, Dennis, thank you very much. And Mark, or Mike, whoever it was, that is a good sounding radio. I don't know where you're at, but you sound like you're right next to me. But anyway, sounds good. I'm out and turning this one off and just going to be listening now. Have a good one.
All right, and he sounds good because he is right next to you.
Yeah, that just put a big smile on my face.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm right here. I don't know if he knows where I live or not. Can't remember. Anyway, I'm over here off of Blackstone and Bullard.
Oh, yeah, I've been there once.
That's right. You bought the donuts.
Good memory.
It took a few minutes.
All right, let's see. Anybody else wanting to check in? I just noticed the time. Time flies when you are having so much fun. You can't look at the clock. Let me see. I'm gonna go into the green room and probably have some more stuff here. Anybody else want to check in? And I will say thanks everybody for being patient. Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow to get things done.
Good evening, Dennis. This is Crawdad 109 with a late check-in.
Hey, a check-in is never too late when the glowing tube is at oldtuberadio.net. I will bring up the list here for SWL on the 109. We'll paste it to the top of the page. And you are, since we are on oldtuberadio.net, you are beaconing worldwide and sounding good. We got you checked in. Over.
Thank you, Dennis.
And number 7.
All right. And sometimes it pays to be tardy. We've got Crawdad with a check-in sounding good from Albury, and then SWL7, who has hopefully walked in the door with a little bit more coin in his pocket than when he left.
Exactly $2 more, so I came ahead.
All right, a good thing. And I'm trying not to break the station here. We had a little bit of change of plans. Things got started late, but there is no smoke, and we're still happening.
Good deal. Thank you, and thanks to Bozo Control.
He actually helped today.
My God, when Bozo actually helps?
Or else. That's I think how I put it. All right. Uh-oh. I don't know why this isn't working here. I got a loose I got a loose wire now on this thing. Anyway, we'll be counting and mounting. The Jingle Singers have the evening off. I don't want to do another drum roll. I think I don't want to damage the equipment here. We'll be back on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Yeah. No sound or T.
All right, let me take one of those real long transmissions. Let's see if I don't even know if the scope is working here. There we go. Let me switch to that camera. It kind of worked. Wow, that's telling me I may have I been distorting all night with the audio in my hopes to actually get something working? It's hard to say. We'll keep it like this, but that's an indication that we might be running a little hot on the audio tonight. I would tell you how many SWLs checked in, but everybody's getting a check-in tonight thanks to the lateness of my hour. Not a problem. That'll help out with the perfect attendance item. But those of you actually were able to hang out with us tonight, we appreciate that. I'm glad that the comments are working. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did to deserve that or what I did to make that happen, but hopefully that will still be the case next week. When we get to 2 radios, we had a total of 8, which isn't bad. Thanks to everybody for doing that. Looks like the tube count. I tried to do a tube count here tonight. 105 total tubes. Managed to get a green radio in here or there, and we started off with, actually the most heard manufacturer tonight was from Robin. We started off with the Robin T123. That was from Mr. Green Arrow. And then Jerry on his Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Oh, you know what? I messed up. That should have 3 more tubes. I marked it as the wrong one. So make the tube count 108. The Cobra Cam 88, proving that high-fidelity audio happens with a decent radio and just a little bit of work on the front end there, on the microphonium and some compression and limiting. Doesn't take too much, but there are problems that can arise from RFI and ground loops, so doing your due diligence in keeping all the connections professionally connected, if I can say that, is always a good thing to produce the audio that we heard on Dennis's Cobra Cam 88 for Radio 3. Radio 4, the Robin T123B, our second Robin, brought to us by SWL 47. Mike was on that one. Then Chris on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A for Radio 5. Radio 6, Harvey on the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 Mod B. Just a few steps away from the Mark II. And let's see, Jimmy's comment was the face plates were widened by a little bit from the A version of the Golden Eagle. Other things changed more, a bit more on the Mark II. So a little bit of tweaks here and there, and you wonder, and we may find out why. We may find out the mysteries. If it was just when they started producing more and the face plates were different because they got them from a different spot, or the manufacturer of the plate said, well, this is the stock we have, it'll be a little different, or they were changing things on the front of the radio saying, well, we need to move this plate by a 1/4 inch. So like I mentioned, always something going on and peeking and tweaking back in the day. Radio number 7, the Gonset G11. This is the 12-volt version, a first time airing here on the Old Tube Radio Network after waiting in the wings, waiting in the green room for 11 years. It sounds good, a little low on frequency. Stock audio is not bad if you can jump into the audio archives, which I will try to put up. It'll probably just be one setting, this time probably under tube and SWL check-ins, or watch the video. I'm sure you will be pleased to hear the Gonset G11 that you heard moments ago, the Chris 23 Plus. Always sounding good here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I think everything should be a little bit more on the normal side, on the up and up next week. We'll have our regular OTR displays, I think, and maybe some other audio items into the audio board. It has been a busy week, a hectic day, but everything seems to have gone swimmingly. Thanks for listening in and checking into the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. I am ready for the dessert item in the green room. Check it out, won't you? Good night, everybody.
good night and good net. Thanks to Bozo Control.
Hey, Mike?
Yeah.
There is an adjustment in the config for frequency. So if you want it adjusted, let me know.
Okay. I'm definitely interested in having you take a look at this. Not spreading germs is always a good thing, though, so we're going to have to figure that one out.
Okay, it's a little hard to copy you, but we'll get together and we'll get that done.
Okay, I'll call you on the phone.
Okay, it's still a little hard to copy you. I guess between the two of us, I've got something in the way with this low antenna. Okay, we'll talk to you later.
Harvey, do you have any 2-meter stuff inside yet?
Excuse me, no, just the handheld.
Okay, well that shouldn't be too hard to hook up, get the right connectors to hook up to an outdoor antenna, but then it's always nice to have a power supply so you're not draining all the batteries.
Yeah, Roger. Well, all the antennas are over here. I have to do something in the backyard that requires money, and then once I get that done, I can put the antennas up.
All right, sounds good. I think there's going to be a lot of antenna raising parties in 2021. I'm sort of designing and hoping to do that as well. So once we get rolling, we'll just run around the neighborhoods and make sure everybody's getting what they want, getting the hardware they want up in the air. All right, good night. I'm going to jump out of the air chair. I've been in here a very long time tonight, but it has been a very productive evening. And good night, all. Let me decommission oldtuberadio.net, the audio item with the glowing tube that will be glowing, well, glowing no more. It'll be back next week. Thanks, everybody. And over on the video stream, good night, and 73 from the Old Tube Radio Network.